Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy, my channel's Finding Value. We're doing our uranium daily technical analysis update. And we'll go through the uranium price, an ETF, and then we'll go through a bunch of individual stocks. Again, this is just my financial opinion. Do not use it as advice, do your own due diligence, and do whatever fits within your investment strategy. So here we go. This is uranium and the uranium price. I was up like 8%. I do a little bit larger, big picture view. I'm looking at this blue line going across. There's a little bit of resistance in this area. It's not a ton. It doesn't really line up. It lines up a little bit with this guy here. But overall, the physical price has moved dramatically higher. Looking at North Shore Global Mining Uranium ETF, here's the launch. Again, we had a little bit of selling pressure, but it was bought back up throughout the day. So the sellers aren't romping this, at least not yet, on the URNM. So it still looks good. It still looks okay to go higher if the buyers step in here. We do have a lot of momentum. And we got that wick at the bottom. Usually it's a wick and the momentum's coming back up. We'll see what the buyers can do here. They got to show us that it's a win at all costs. Here's URNM on a big picture view. I'll draw on the line to see what this thing is doing. So that's what it looks like somewhere in there. Are we going to pull back and touch this guy? Probably not with that wick at the bottom, this little wick. It does mean that it got bought back up and the momentum's coming up. So it may not come back and touch this, but it might. You never know. CCJ's got a little bit of a pullback. If you were to look at this, I mean, what it could be forming is a little kind of pattern like this. It can form little patterns like this, or maybe this is, like that, and then it can break it and move on up, a continuation pattern, potentially. Doesn't mean it is. Remember, we're playing with statistics here. We're not playing with certainty. So next gen energy, we got a bearish engulfing here. This could turn and head lower here. It very well could. We could come back and do a retest of $5 or something like that. It could come up, come back, and then move up later. But keep in mind, guys, the volumes, the money flows. If the money flows in, it will go up. But chart pattern wise, this wants to go down and rest a little bit. It's my guess. Fission doesn't look too bad, just a down day. We'll see what tomorrow brings us. Not too much to say there. Denison Mines, it's close to a bearish piercing, but not really. Let's see what the buyers and sellers do tomorrow. It's a really tough one to read there. Momentum's to the upside, obviously. Sky Harbor, I mean, it's got the black candlestick. Could be a momentum reversal day. But it doesn't look horrible. I mean, sometimes it could, come down here a little bit, or it's tough to say on this one. Canalaska's still hitting some resistance. That's why it opened up and closed lower. Momentum's coming back down. We could see a down day tomorrow. We have some resistance up here. Still fighting the resistance. Here's baseload, kind of popped a little bit higher. Not too bad of a move. Try to look for any patterns in here, but we did pop higher. Pure Point Uranium. Again, looking at this, I don't see any patterns. There's no reversal patterns. There's nothing going on. I think it's just a normal down day. Standard Uranium's looking pretty good. A little wick at the top. I'd say this is the gold standard, but it's Standard Uranium. That's for sure. Asian Court Uranium moving on up. This was a sell-off day here, but the buyers are still there. They're pushing it up a little bit higher. We'll see what this thing does tomorrow. Doesn't look too bad. UEXCF, a little bit more of a selling day today. The momentum was lost in this black candlestick. We were coming up into some sellers, opened up, closed lower, and then continued lower. So the momentum's to the downside on this one right now. So I would say this is probably going to head lower in the very short term. Energy fuels, it's running into some sellers, but it's not really a topping pattern. It's not a topping candlestick pattern either, and it did get bought back up. So we'll see what tomorrow brings. UEC, sometimes it opened up and then it got sold off throughout the day. Sometimes it's a reversal pattern, sometimes not. It is coming into some selling pressure up here. URG is the same story as UEC to the T. Uranium Royalty Corporation, small little down day. Doesn't really mean too much. We'll see what tomorrow brings us. This thing is really moving higher with this momentum. Paladin Energy, we do have a bearish engulfing pattern, but sometimes these small guys throw some false signals. Usually what that means is that the opening and closing price engulfs the one before it. It's a down day. It could be a topping, short-term topping pattern where we come back a little bit before moving on up. Forum Energy Metals, looks like this one could potentially pull back a little bit. But again, guys, the momentum here is incredible going up. So that could easily overrun any candlestick chart pattern. Forces Metals losing a little bit of steam, but still looking pretty good. Bannerman, we had to have a little bit of a down day. I was getting so excited I was going to probably start, calling my kid Little Bannerman, or Banny. Yeah, Little Banny. Because this thing's been an incredible performer. Good job, Bannerman. But nothing too big, just a small down day. There's no pattern here, nothing signifying anything. Deep Yellow, momentum's coming to the downside with this black candlestick. It opened higher, finished a little bit lower. Sometimes these are short-term topping patterns where it may pull back. Here's Goviax, little wick at the top, so it bought up and sold off throughout the day. We'll see if this thing pulls back more tomorrow or if the buyers continue to push it higher. Global Atomics looking more like next gen a little bit. This is a bearish engulfing here, which usually means we could head lower or pull back a little bit at some point. Centrus has got a red down day sandwich going on here. Is this a? It's not. I don't know. Can't tell if that's a bullish engulfing here. It's really close to these closing and opening prices here, but it looks okay. Peninsula Energy, we've got a black candlestick with a wick at the bottom. Kind of crazy. It opened up, closed up, but lower. Looks okay. I mean, sometimes this can be a top, though, like a short-term top where we pull back a little bit. That's what these black candlesticks sometimes are. Boss Energy's got the same thing with this black candlestick. It could be a short-term little topping out pattern. International Consolidated Uranium, yeah, a little 8.3% up day. It's fighting through this resistance. Looks pretty good. Doesn't look too bad to me. National, this is Kazatomprom. Looking at this, I mean, obviously, guys, if the buyers step in here, it could easily go higher. But it is encountering some selling pressure, but yeah, we'll see what tomorrow brings us. Let's see what tomorrow brings us. Fission's selling off a little bit. It's got a little wick at the bottom, which means it sold off, came back up. Looks okay. Encore Energy, it's getting tired. It's where you see all these black candlesticks in the opening and closing prices are contracting. I would say that this thing could potentially move a little bit lower, looking at the candlestick patterns. But again, I'm not in the game of trying to time this stuff on the short term here. I'm not buying, I'm holding on. So I'm not, I look at these charts, yes, on a very short term, some of them look a little bit weak. Others look pretty strong. It just depends where money flows are being directed. If a whole bunch of money came into URNM and were to push all this stuff higher, then it's going higher. It really deals with money flows. I'm not keen to sell. So, the valuations are good. I'm holding on. And even if we do see a little bit of a pullback, even if that is in the cards, I'm not going to do anything. Because I think I'm a long-term holder. I like the valuations. I like energy. And I think that the big bull market is still in front of us, not behind us. So I'm focusing on the big picture view. We could pull back if people start selling. obviously. But it's with the volumes here, it could be anything. So we'll see what happens. Let's see what physical uranium does tonight. It usually updates at night for me, and we'll see what it brings us. Let me know what your opinions are. Put it in the comment section. Love to hear your guys' opinions. And thanks for listening. This is Finding Value.